fucking awesome. Come on, it's gonna be fucking awesome. You know the words. It's gonna be fucking awesome. That's it, see. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Yeah!
Hey, hi. It's just Blaze Snider, the Coolest Geek Alive. How are you doing, my fellow Coolest Geeks? Care Bear stare out to you all. I've got an awesome flick to talk about today, Memento. But first, house cleaning. Fucking for our future #1. My comic for my company, Blacklight District Studios, is on Kickstarter right now. It's really freaking awesome. It's only up for another 13 days or something like that. Get up there and participate. You can go to www.bldsts.com to get like a direct link into that and see like a little preview of the book. But it's really funny, super subversive, really fun. Of course, we do a show every Wednesday. Sometimes Sunday nights, me and Aaron Sparrow do a live stream, The Coolest Geeks Alive. And then Monday nights, I do a music show called All Your Favorite Bands Suck, a feature of all my favorite bands. There's like 31 favorite bands now. I'm working on Everclear this week. Last week, I did Beastie Boys. Every Friday, there's a new show coming out called Everything They Don't Want You to Know, where I basically drop lots of knowledge like the shit that I talked about on Wednesday's show, if you listen to that. Anyway, without further ado, let us get to Memento, man. Memento is just such a fucking awesome, cool, heady movie. It's Christopher Nolan's, the movie that he really blew up with. Of course, he's known for a lot of different movies now. And, the first movie that he kind of blew him up is called Following. Following is a cool flick. But Memento is something else. Of course, for those of you who don't know Christopher Nolan, he directed Batman Begins. He directed The Dark Knight. He directed The Prestige, Inception, The Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, and there's so many movies from him. But let's talk about Memento in particular. It is so interestingly made. The simple premise of Memento is that the main character, he can't remember things past like a few minutes, and he forgets everything that he's experienced and what he's gone through. And he's leaving notes for himself and all sorts of different things. He has like a whole routine so that he can keep this system right and remember what he's supposed to remember and live his life, even though he's had this terrible brain injury that has made his life unlivable. He can't meet new people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He can't really trust people the same way. So he has all these different things that he's doing in order to make his life livable. And because of his nature, the story is told backwards. So the story begins and we are watching him not understanding where, what has happened to him prior to where he is right now. And then we slowly go back in time and we keep getting the moments that lead up to that next moment and the moment that led up to that next moment. And we discover as an audience what has actually been going on that has led to the final moments of the movie, which are really the opening moments of the movie as the movie goes backwards. And the movie is structured in a way that the end, which is really the beginning, is absolutely, a great payoff and super fucking cool. So this movie has like one of the most interesting structures of any movie ever made. It's so well thought out and put together. It's the type of movie that you'll find yourself going back to over and over again and watching over and over again. It's a real intellectuals movie. It's a Fight Club kind of movie or whatever, but it's just a little bit more subdued and a little bit more heady and visceral or whatever you want to call it. And I really like, if you like film and storytelling, this is a really cool entry into, I guess it ends up being like a crime drama kind of thing. I'll read you the little here, this is what it says on IMDb. Leonard Shelby, an insurance investigator, suffers from anterograde amnesia and uses notes and tattoos to hunt for the man he thinks killed his wife, which is the last thing he remembers. So I don't want to spoil anything or whatever, but there is an amazing cast. Of course, you've got Guy Ritchie, who is the lead, Leonard, and great performance. Guy Ritchie's gotten so many roles off of this movie, being in this movie. But some great performances by Carrie-Anne Moss, who plays Natalie, who's like a person, you're not exactly sure how well he knows her or whatever, but just shady people in his life. You got Joe Pantoliano, who plays Teddy, who's great in the movie. And then a couple smaller roles from some great guys like Mark Boone Jr. from Sons of Anarchy. He plays Bert, who's just, again, I don't want to tell you who any of these people are because it'll kind of frame the whole thing, but it's just, this guy doesn't know shit, and you don't either until you go watch the movie. It's great. Steven Tobolowsky plays Sammy Jankis, who's basically he has a little bit part representing somebody with a similar ailment to him, in some flashback kind of thing, some stories that he's telling, and they're really great. And his wife's played by Harriet Sanson Harris, who's great as Mrs. Jenkins. And then nobody else that I think is because it's a relatively small cast. It's a relatively intimate film, in its execution and whatnot. I don't even remember it being particularly long. I'm trying to get a thing. It's an hour and 53 minutes. Yeah, it's so engaging. This came out in 2000, and I mean, this really was, the flick that really launched Christopher Nolan's career, and just. For me, every single time I go into any writing situation, I'm always looking to what can I bring to this that nobody's done before. Is there an interesting way that I can use comics to tell stories in an interesting way? Is there an interesting way that I can use YouTube as a medium or a podcast as a medium to talk about something or do something that's interesting to do? This movie is so interesting, groundbreaking. I mean, I know there's other movies that have done similar types of things, but just the very simple commitment to this structure and a really well thought out and good job making it so that the ending was interesting and the opening was, exciting, essentially, so that when the movie closes backwards, it's really, especially with you getting information, because that's the biggest thing. It's by the end of it, you're getting information that you haven't had this whole movie that completely changes the way you're looking at the entire movie, which is often why so many people go back and watch it at least one more time, so you can kind of try to piece things together a little bit and see how well put together it really is, because it's quite well made. I don't know if there's anything else that is worth highlighting. I'm just kind of looking at some casting stuff, screenplay, one others. Yeah, he wrote this with Jonathan Nolan, who's his brother. And, Christopher Nolan often gets, all the love. But Jonathan Nolan's doing some great things. He worked on the recent, wasn't it Fallout that he was a producer on? Yeah, he helped produce the Fallout series and Westworld series, which Westworld's great. And so, there's some really cool things that he's been doing. And I definitely think that he deserves some light shined on himself. The Fallout series was really well produced. I did a feature on that one a couple weeks ago. And then just all other cast and crew, I'm just looking to see who is involved here, if there's any other people that are worth talking about that I don't know about. I tend to be more focused on the writers and the directors. Yeah, that seems like enough, I guess, for me, really, for these things. I don't like to spoil any of this stuff. I really want you guys to go watch. And honestly, if any of you guys are out there and you're participating in these episodes, write to me at jesseblaze@jessesnider.com. Let me know. Tell me, I like this one. I didn't think this one. You hyped it up too much. Tell me whatever. But I would love to know what your experience is with me just gushing about stuff. Because, I'm not doing traditional reviews here. I'm just going I love this. You should go check it out. Does that format work? And am I making recommendations that are sticking with you guys and your family? You know, you're able to get into some stuff that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise. I know sometimes I'm picking things that are maybe a little bit off the traditional geek path, which is like straight science fiction and fantasy. You know, Memento isn't exactly that. Memento is really interesting and cool. And I think it's awesome. So you should check it out. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks so much for listening to the show. Join me again next Saturday for a coolest pick or coolest classic or whatever the fuck it might be. And again this coming Saturday for another fucking awesome episode of the Coolest Geek Alive. I love you guys. Bye. You've been listening to Coolest Geek Alive with me, your host, Jesse Blaze Snider. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more excellent geek culture content. Thanks for listening.
It's my favorite part! Isn't that heavy? I'll play that! It's gonna be fucking awesome! Coolest alive! It's gonna be fucking awesome. Stay with your tribe. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Revenge of the Geeks. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Week after weeks. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Laughing with you. It's gonna be fucking awesome. And crying sometimes too. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Spelling it out. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Making you shout. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Talking some shit. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Living your shit. My voice is fucking awesome. Food in our mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Get in the mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Tell all your friends. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Call right or text. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Raising the bar. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Straight to the stars. It's gonna be fucking awesome. It's starting soon. Straight to the top. Awesome. Passing the moon. It's gonna be fucking awesome. On with the show. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Ready, set, go. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Just wait. You'll see. You'll all see. You'll all see.